aluminum in hydrochloric acid, we can say as a sentence, aluminum metal reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce hydrogen gas and aluminum chloride. That's a sentence. You've all had between 10 and 12 years of English language instruction. How can you tell that that's a sentence?
There's a verb.
Subject.
There's a subject, there's an object, there's a verb, there's a period at the end of it, there are words in there.
Capital letter.
Okay, capital letters, sure. What is, so this is all words, a period at the end, right? It's a sentence.
Yeah.
You're going to get these. I'm going to give you sentences that describe reactions. From that, there are 3 steps that you will take. So the first step from a sentence that describes a reaction, well, actually, I guess that's your first step, starting out with a sentence. Terrible handwriting. Your second step is this word equation, okay? So a word equation, if you were really psychic, you might think would involve what?
Words.
Words. You guys are so sharp. Okay, but we have this part that says equation. This is not a sentence. A word equation and a sentence are not the same thing. A word equation is words plus symbols. So a word equation looks like this. Aluminum plus hydrochloric acid yields hydrogen gas plus aluminum, I'm doing this to save space, aluminum chloride. Please note that there is no period at the end of this, that there are symbols mixed in with words. That's a word equation, okay? From that word, so a word equation is kind of a general overview. It's a visual way to see the equation, but you're not yet writing formulas, okay? It's useful. We use these a lot in biology, like with photosynthesis. We'll say sunlight plus chlorophyll plus CO2 yields sugar plus oxygen. It's a word equation. All right, could you tap the space bar, please? From there, the next step is you want to write what's called a formula equation. So, as you might guess, a formula equation involves what? Formulas! Yay! There was great rejoicing. Okay, with the formula equation, we just write the formula for each of these words. That's all we do. So, what's the formula for a chunk of aluminum metal? Al. Metals walk alone. They hold no one's hand. So this would just be Al. What's the formula for hydrochloric acid? Somebody who has on 3 layers from the waist up. Not counting underwear. I don't care about your underwear. So like a t-shirt plus a hoodie plus a sweater or... Oh, okay. Well, hey, I fit in too right now. What? Formula for hydrochloric acid. It's hydrofluoric. Hydrochloric. HCl. Okay. And what's the formula for hydrogen gas? Somebody who's only wearing 1 layer from the waist up.
H2.
H2. Good. Okay. Somebody who has on shoes with laces.
That's a good bit of you guys.
Okay, why don't you come up with it? Okay, somebody who has on shoes with laces that are not white.
What's the question?
Colored shoe laces.
Would it be
ALCL3. Good. Okay, good teamwork, you guys. Had I forgotten to ask the question when I called on
Well,
you?
I knew what it was.
Okay, you guys all knew what the question was going to be.
Wait,
Okay.
so wait, since hydrogen gas, that's a gas when they put in juice.
We're going to get to that. Yeah. Yeah, if we, and that's a great point. If we had all the information that we could have here, we would also say this is a solid. This is an aqueous solution. We'll talk more about those later. This is a gas, and this is also an aqueous solution. So yeah, that would be all the information we could possibly have. We don't usually include those at the formula equation level, but we can. Okay, there's only one thing left to do. Now, you will notice that this is not balanced. Formula equations are not balanced. They just show you what's reacting with correct formulas. And again, they're more of a general overview. We do the same thing with the photosynthesis and cellular respiration equations. We say C6H12O6 plus O2 yields ATP plus CO2 plus H2O. It's not balanced, but it gives us an idea. The fourth thing you can have here is a balanced chemical equation. Okay? When you say chemical equation, that means it's balanced. Okay? Formula equations are not balanced. Chemical equations are balanced. That's the difference between those two. So what I typically do is I recopy my formula equation with a little line out front. Actually, you know what? I'm going to erase all this, and we're going to go to just the because I want to show you a technique that I use. So when you're creating your balanced chemical equation, all right. I draw a line down from that arrow. And this divides your world into your reactants and your products. Okay? And then I do a tally. So I write all the kinds of atoms that I'm dealing with down each side. Count how many I've got. So how many, and this could be atoms, this could be moles. How many moles of aluminum do I have? Hold up fingers. 1. You guys, all but 2 of you are really bad at following instructions. Okay, how many moles of hydrogen do I have? 1.
How do you know that?
Okay, because there's no subscript behind the hydrogen.
Okay.
So in 1 mole of hydrochloric acid, I have 1 mole of hydrogen atoms. Good question. How many moles of chlorine do I have? Okay. How many moles of aluminum do I have over here? How many moles of hydrogen do I have over here? 2. How many moles of chlorine do I have? 3. Okay. So, balancing equations is largely trial and error, but there are a few general things to do. Always first try to balance things that appear in compounds on both sides. Then go for things that appear in compounds on one side, and leave things that are all by themselves for last. Those are easy. So let's start off with our hydrogen. No, let's start with our chlorine, since it's in a compound on both sides. So I've got 3 over here, 1 over here. Is there a way to get 3 chlorines over here?
Yeah.
Okay, if I put a coefficient of 3 in front of the HCl, I now have 3 chlorines. I also now have 3 hydrogens. Is there a problem?
Add more hydrogen because of 6.
What's my problem?
There's only 2 hydrogen on the other side. It can't multiply to get 3.
Well, because this is diatomic, I'm never going to have an odd number of hydrogens. Ever. Cannot happen. So I'm going to automatically double this. Now I have 6 and 6. All right, is there a way to get 6 hydrogens? Well, first of all, is there a way to get 6 chlorines?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do I have to do?
2.
2 AlCl3. Okay. Is there a way to get 2 aluminum?
Again. 2.
Is there a way to get 6 hydrogen?
3.
3. Am I balanced? Whoops.
Yeah.
Yep. Couple cautionary notes.
Oh.
2 things. And this is my methodology. I'm going to give you a big practice sheet. It's got 50 problems on it. You'll be doing 25 of them. You'll have to do them on a separate sheet because you need to do the work. And I realize that half of you could balance half of them in your head without writing a thing down. That's fantastic. I'm proud of you. I'll put a gold sticker on your forehead if you want later. But I want you to get used to doing this because then they get big and fuzzy and hairy, and I want you to have the technique down so that when you get to the big fuzzy crazy hairy ones, you have it. So I always cross this out and put the next number. I don't erase because that way I can see where I've been. I can see my history. Don't change these numbers until you've changed the number up here because these are just a count of what you have. You know, and I even tend to cross those out and change them that way again so I can see my sort of trail of breadcrumbs. Questions on balancing? Okay. The sheet, the review sheet that I'm going to give you has got 25 on the front, 25 on the back. The front, you're given a formula equation. You just have to balance it. The back
Hold on.
is a word equation.
It's physics.
It started that a while ago.
I heard something, and I'm like, what is it? And I looked it up, and it's like, gone.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.